Hello everyone, I'm Ben Coleman, one of your hosts for the Florida Aviation Network. We're here to you live, streaming in the clear on the internet. Come to our website, punch the button that says live feed, and you'll be able to watch these. Of course, if you're watching this on the internet, you've already figured that out. But if you're not, we will get you on our web feed. And we're here at the 44th Annual Sun and Fun International Convention and Fly-In. And it is an opportunity to share a lot of experiences. Yesterday, it was an opportunity to share a lot of rain. We had some torrential downpours. Today, we've tamed the weather, and it's beautiful outside, and it's beautiful inside too. Florida Air Museum, if you haven't been here, you need to come here. Some of the folks that come here, they come from all over the world, and they come from all different walks of life, capacities. And I think we have some folks here with us to my immediate left from, I believe it's Great Britain. And we have Chris, Gabriella, and Rachel. Did I get that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, I'll mess it up at least once before we leave this set. And no need to be nervous or concerned because these cameras, I think, what's our capacity now, Bill? We're feeding to 2,000. Oh, it's 2 million folks now. Okay, I just got that in the ear. We're 2 million people are watching this, so no need to be concerned. Nobody's watching. No stage fright. Tell us what it's the RAF, and that's the Royal Air Force. That's the extent of my knowledge of the Royal Air Force. What brings you here to Sun and Fun? What do you accomplish? And what are you doing? What do you have? Do you have fun?
Yeah. Basically, we're just here to sort of help out with all the volunteers, marshal all the aircraft into where they need to go, and help out wherever we can.
Chris, do you practice that accent, or is it
No,
natural?
that's just natural.
Is that natural?
Yeah.
Gabriella, you don't have an accent, do you?
I guess so. To you guys.
Rachel?
A little bit.
A little bit? Oh, we, don't you just love it when the Americans try to imitate a British accent?
Yeah.
I will not do that. I will not do that. I promise I won't do. I won't. Chris, what, I know that you guys are camping here. And Rachel, you seem to be a senior member here.
Yes,
You
I
have
am.
some maturity about you. Not
Maturity,
that you don't.
yes, I like
You're
that.
very mature young people. But we'll start with you, Rachel. What do you do? What's your biggest task with this cadre of?
So all the staff members are have a flight each, and we are responsible for looking after them out on the airfield, making sure they're in the right places at the right times, and just making sure they're enjoying themselves, really.
Good. And how many of you are there?
It's 45 cadets and 15 staff members.
15 to 45.
Yes.
There seems to be a ratio there. Was that by design?
Yes, there has to be a ratio.
3 to 1.
Can't remember off the top of my head.
That's good. That's good. And but these are these folks that typically get in trouble in the UK? The troublemakers? Are those the ones you bring over?
we like to think we bring out the best ones.
Okay. So that's and from you guys, your positions, what do you look forward to? Is this your first?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gabriella? Okay. Wow. Do you want to come back?
definitely. Yeah.
It's early in the week. Well, I would reserve that comment till the end of the week. Do you like mid-90s temperature Fahrenheit?
Yeah, it's been nice so far.
Okay.
good.
Like I said, later on in the week, let's see if you do. But, as camping, any bad experiences or good experiences other than, do you like water?
Yeah.
Good. Have you had any water recently?
Tons. Yeah.
Tons
Yeah,
of water.
tons.
Okay. Tell us what the RAF, what does the RAF do?
The RAF just sort of, they do a lot of humanitarian aid, so helping out in areas where there's crisis, also defending UK airspace, keeping other countries out, and helping out with all the issues over in the Middle East as well. Helping out around there.
And the youth component of RAF, is it similar to our Civil Air Patrol? Or are there some similarities, or?
Yes, there are. Yes.
We obviously are we mimic your system. We not mimic your system. We try, but no. The U.S. Air Force and RAF, there's some an awful lot of similarities there. But I do have to hand it to you. You folks are you always are so polished, and you do represent your organization well. Everything that I see around the campus here is very, very well done, very professionally done. What is it that you you do help marshal aircraft. Your rally points, this is where Rachel wants to make sure that you're spot on. Oh, I'm sorry, I did it, didn't I? But you're where you're supposed to be when you do. How do you get your training with the RAF? I mean, are you obviously part-time because you're students?
Yeah.
How did you get time off to come here to do this?
So we learnt first of all with the training day where we all met up to learn how to marshal aircrafts, and then separately, each separate squadron twice a week meets up to do certain training in different areas. But because it's an educational trip, we can get time off school for it because it's counted as educational for our aviation if you want to go into it in the future. So.
What has been your currently? What is the most? What have you done that has the most fun so far? What have you done here to have a lot of fun?
Well, I started marshalling aircraft earlier today, and it's something I've never done before, so it was really good to learn and have a go at, and that's been quite fun so far.
Good. Any close calls so far?
Not yet, no.
Okay. Everybody watching what you're doing?
Yeah,
watching your hands?
definitely.
You use hand signals, you batons, or what?
Yeah, batons.
Okay. And Gabriella, have you marshaled yet?
Yeah, this morning, yeah. So that was really good fun as well.
Okay. Where were you at for your marshalling?
I was on camping, aircraft camping.
Okay. And did you have any issues with some of the aircraft, any of the mud, or was it wet?
No, they were all fine. It's dried up out there pretty well, so.
That's good. That's good. Any close calls, Gabriella?
No, I've been on the general aircraft parking as well, so there's not been any close calls. It's all been good, which is good.
Well, it starts to get busy. And I'm sorry, have you had any close calls?
No, not
Rachel?
yet. No.
You typically, and I've got to remember that all of these, how many years have you been coming to? I know this is your first. This probably is not your first, is it?
This is my second year.
Okay. And is that by design? Do they have a rollover? I'm sure
Not
there's a lot of folks that like to come over.
No, they like to have a bit of a mix of people who have been before with the experience, and then obviously fresh cadets and fresh staff member to bring new ideas to the table as well.
Well, it's refreshing to have you folks here. And is there, what limits the 45, actually there's 60 of your boots on the ground, as they say here. Yep, there are boots. Yep. Right down to my deck shoes here. Sorry about that, but this is home. We relax. We try to keep things relaxed here. And hopefully, have you had all good experiences? I mean, has there been any crotchety, anybody snap at you or be rude or? Okay, well, if you do, let somebody know, because old Southern phrase, we'll jerk a knot in the head for being rude to our guests. And but what is it that you, and I see rank. Explain to me your ranks. That would be a sergeant here in the similar. So you all are, you have the rank of sergeant?
Us two are flight sergeants, but we're junior, we're cadets.
Okay.
However, sergeant's a staff member, so she's still higher rank than us.
Oh, and don't you forget it.
No.
That's what she says. I outrank you. But do you have a demerit system? I mean, how do you keep track of your underperformers, if you will? I mean, there has to be. I know in the Civil Air Patrol, they do have a demerit system. But if you stump your toe or do something that really, after you think about it, really wasn't a good idea, how do you handle it?
Usually it's done by the squadron commander. so the person that runs each area, and they'll keep track of all their cadets and see how they're doing. Usually there's a course or something to go on and to measure progress, and if they underperform, then usually they're told where to improve and how to get better, and they'll try again in a few months.
Good. And have you guys underperformed?
Quite possibly.
That's okay. We've all been there. Then. Okay? You got to mess up a little bit to understand, get right back up on the track. But aviation-wise, any pilots in your group? Any potential pilots in your group? Do you want to fly?
Yeah, definitely.
Is that what brings you to the organization?
Yeah.
And Rachel, what is your desire?
I'm here. I'm purely a volunteer. I have a full-time job as well as helping these guys out on evenings and weekends. But yeah, flying is definitely a unique selling point for a young cadet who's like 13 or 14 years old.
Excellent.
Definitely try and get them up as soon as we can.
And flying, is that interesting for you as a career?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. How far along have you come with that career path?
Not very yet, but I've got a flying scholarship in December, which I'm hoping will help out as well.
Yeah, same. I've got mine in June as well. So we've both got that coming up, which will be good to get us started, I guess.
And what aircraft have you been in so far?
I've flown a Tutor, which is a small single-engine plane that we get to use with it's called Air Experience flights over in the UK. I've also been up in a helicopter Chinook as well.
Oh, that's a beast. How about you, Gabriella?
Yeah, I've been in the Grub Tutor as well, and I also had a flight in the Chinook, and then civilianly outside of cadets, I've also flown in a Cessna as well.
What type?
I think it was a 172.
172?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's pretty popular design. And have you started? Do you have your logbook? Do you have your anything started yet?
Yeah, so we've got a little service book as part of cadets, so we can log all of our flying hours into that.
Okay. Did your 172? Did you?
Yeah, I've
make a
logged
record?
that one. Yeah, I've got a logbook for that one.
Do you have a record written of you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that record will follow you for the rest of your life, and it's a lot of fun. You'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
But it can also be pretty scary. It can be devastating. The training is going to be paramount for you. But the things that you're doing here with your group is all part of that good training. And is there anything that you have seen here that has just blown your mind? That I can't believe that's here. I can't believe I'm looking at that. What have you seen that just?
For me, mostly it's how close you are to all the aircraft. There's sort of red tape in the UK as to what you're allowed to do at air shows, and it's so different over here. And it's brilliant being able to be right up close to the aircraft as it's coming into land or taxi. You just can't do that over in the UK.
That's because we're Yanks over here. Rules. We don't need rules. No, we do have some standards, but like I say, I guess it is, comparatively speaking, it's a lot more generous, I guess, as far. But it can also be a lot more dangerous. So there's a reason for your rules that I like. And Gabriella, anything? What have you seen here?
I think one of the most amazing things that I've seen is that most people just fly here for the day. Instead, obviously we would drive to an air show and park up, but instead everyone else is flying in, parking their planes and enjoying the air show. So I think that's really cool as well. And also how close we're working with the aircraft, which is really nice. So. Yeah,
flying is a little bit different in the UK.
Yeah.
And we as Americans, we sometimes take that way too much for granted because of the liberties that we have here. But it's good to share those liberties, and hopefully we want to share as much as we can here with you. And who is your primary point of contact here for Sun and Fun? Do you have Rachel? You probably would be one of the Robin.
Sorry.
Who is your primary contact?
It'd be Squadron Leader Wergelmuth. He's our camp commandant, and he runs it overall.
And but how do you keep in touch with all of your people here? You have two ways?
Yeah, we have two ways. We have mobiles. A program gets organised every day for the next day, and we stick to that each day.
And you all stay here on the campus?
Yes.
Because I've seen a lot of vehicles around with RAF on it, but is that just to carry you from point to point? Or,
Yeah.
do you have any scooters or any cars or four-wheelers?
We've got a golf buggy as well that
golf buggy?
some of the staff members use to get around.
So these guys don't get to use the golf buggy?
They get the opportunity to have a go out on the general parking areas.
They make you walk
Yeah,
or march,
pretty
probably march. But that's all part of it. That's fine.
Yeah.
And but what is going to be the highlight that you're anticipating? Because this is only day 2. What do you look forward for a highlight is the weekend purchase?
Honestly, I'm not too sure because I know there's going to be a lot of surprises and stuff I haven't been told yet. I think it's all going to be slightly different and be really good.
How about night air show?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Definitely.
Yeah, have you ever seen a night air show?
No.
Yeah, it's not very common. And Rachel, I'm sure, do you really enjoy aviation, or are you just more
Yeah, I
into
do.
kids?
I was in the military as a regular for 9 years, so coming
okay.
back and helping these guys out, I love it. I really enjoy it.
That's great. And I notice you're wearing your badge.
Yeah.
What does your badge signify?
It just denotes what flight I'm attached to and which group I look after.
That's great. And your patches? I see patches.
Different ones.
Okay. And these are different patches.
Yeah. So these show that we're cadets in the RAF Cadets.
Okay.
Whereas that one shows
Mine's
the
a staff one.
staff.
I'm a staff member.
What is this patch?
That's just a blank one. It shows UK.
Oh, the UK flag. What I'm trying to do is get you. Hey, John. Hey, John. John. Come on, buddy. Come on, hang in there, buddy. Oh, okay. He says, well, I don't hear him in the ear. Okay, there we go. That's much better. Actually, I kind of like getting y'all twisted up going to camera 1 there, but that's a pretty cool patch. But that denotes that you're our cadet.
Yeah.
And that's,
I'm a staff member, yeah, senior
okay.
NCO.
Can't let you get that. We got to see the difference. John's saying, he's out in our production truck. What is he doing? There we go. But they're very nice, very nice. I don't know what that's very vivid, but it's very, I don't know. I've just got to hand it to you, Brits. You represent your organization well.
Thank you.
You really
Thank
do.
you.
What is it that I know that you're looking forward to getting your training, and I'm looking forward to getting this stuck into my ear to where I can hear John. What is it that you regard as the most the safest concern that you have in aviation? Because it is, it's not like driving a car. There's an old adage say, don't ever fly any higher than you're prepared to fall. But it's a very, very, can be overwhelming. But I know that your training rudiments with the UK in the UK are very, very strict, very disciplined, and it takes that. But do you have any safety concerns that you're aware of that has come to your attention up to this point?
Not through personal experience, no. But you hear a lot of things about, people who do it for a living, and then something goes wrong, and they still have no idea what it is. And the idea that something can go wrong at any time is quite nerve-wracking, but something you've got to sort of get over and go for it.
Okay. Gabriella?
Yeah, I think the same thing as well, but because you can join cadets at quite a young age, you sort of get introduced to it quite early, and obviously it's very strict on the rules with flying, so being brought up in that sort of situation, knowing that it's really safe, sort of crosses out that there is, obviously we're aware that something can go wrong. I'm not too worried about it because I know that we're in a safe environment and we are going to be taught correctly. So.
Well, it's true. There's a question for you. Why do perfectly good swimmers drown in the water? And this has a similarity with flight training and pilot training as well. They panic. A consummate professional pilot cannot panic. You have to, and it takes a lot of training to get that out. And you'll get into this, but you always have your options, and don't panic. Like you say, when you have you don't know what's going on, but you'll pick that up. And I can tell that these are the cream of the crop, I'm sure.
Good bunch.
But I look forward to someday, and you never know where we'll be. I'll probably be in my wheelchair, but you could be, on one of the flights I'm taking over to visit. Love to go to Scotland, and haven't spent too much time in London. Where is home base for you folks?
Southeast London.
Southeast. Southampton?
No, not that far south.
Oh, okay. Right. I have a friend in Southampton. It's a lovely area over there. If you haven't, for the folks that are watching, if you haven't spent any time in Europe, it's the UK is, well, it's the home place of many things, and there's a lot more property and land over there than people realize. But it's beautiful. I like it. What is I know that you have your goals of being pilots, but do you want to go strictly military, or private, personal pilots, or have aircraft of your own, or what? Where do you want to go with your flying career?
I'm thinking military in fast jet, which is something I've wanted to do for a long time. But I wouldn't mind having my own plane as well.
Well, slow jets are fun too, but the fast jets are fast. But I'm messing with you. And Gabriella, and you?
I was thinking about becoming a pilot in the military, but I think now I'm going to stick to having a civilian license instead, and then joining the military in a separate career, and then just flying for my personal benefit as well. So keeping them two separate, I think.
Well, you get a lot of opportunity to get instrument time in the UK due to the atmospheric conditions over there. Clear blue days are not very common, but it does teach you how to use your instruments extremely well. But and what's your rally point? Where do you go back to after this interview completes? What is your next rally point?
I think we're on the Warbirds ramp next at the B-17, which will be good. I think some people are going back to the campsite to have lunch after this. So yeah.
Good, and the Warbird ramp is that's always exciting. And the big, I noticed there's some large aircraft. I haven't even been out on the flight line yet. But tonight, what is your role tonight other than just are you going to be a spectator, or are you working?
I'm working tonight.
Okay. Well, when you're working, what will you be doing? Security or?
No, more marshalling back at aircraft camping.
Okay. And how much training did you do for your marshalling? Do you go through emergency procedures?
Yeah, we did a day's training at an airfield back in the UK. Learned all the hand signals, mostly how not to do it, pretty much. Keep everything running smoothly.
Okay. If I'm Gabriella, if I'm taxiing up an aircraft, how do you make me stop?
So if it's an emergency stop, it will be a lot quicker.
Emergency stop?
But just by bringing up the batons and crossing them high up enough so that they can see. And then the faster you do it, the faster they will stop.
How fast can you do it?
It depends what's going wrong.
How fast? See your hands, your batons. But that's the best thing is, if anything happens on a ramp, it should happen slowly. And slowing people down, taxiing too fast. My concern is getting a pedestrian or civilian tangled up with a propeller. That's horrible situation and totally preventable. And that's why it's so good to have these young eyes on what's going on out in the field. And anticipation, I'm sure you, again, these are not these are the sharp pencils in the box, to where you can anticipate and see, this aircraft's coming rather fast. So there's another aircraft coming in. We may have a situation coming in. So, you know, the sooner that you can jump in there is the better. And it's always good if somebody gets upset with you for stopping them. Why did they stop me? That's okay. Let them be upset. Because that's why they call you the marshal. You control what goes on in the ground. They control what goes on in the cockpit, but you control what goes on in the ground. And she controls what you guys do. So, but it's always good to have you and welcome you here to Central Florida. And I hope that you have a good remainder of the Sun and Fun event and take lots of pictures. Are they able to have cell phones?
Oh, yes.
And have you taken any pictures?
Yeah, a few.
A few? I think you'll be taking a lot more. There's an awful lot to learn out there, guys, and it's always a pleasure to have you here. And hopefully you'll be back. And I don't know how many times, Rachel, they let you come over. But,
Hopefully a few more.
We'll come over, and hopefully we'll get you back here and learn about some of your tales. I'm sure that there are some. With traveling with a group that big, something always happens. It's where did that come from?
Yeah.
But we'll develop that. But thank you very much,
Thank you.
Chris. Gabriella.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel. Okay, that's going to wrap up another interview here at the Florida Air Museum. Florida Aviation Network, Ben Coleman, one of your hosts. See you next interview.